recap of the County Board work session today, June 21st. Went on to our regular discussion and informational piece of the meeting, and we started with citizen input, and there was a piece of citizen input, and it actually was related to agenda item number 3, and that would be our Squaw Lake canister site. So we did receive a little information from a constituent, and she also spoke when we got to that point on our agenda as well. So no other citizen input. Moved on to a human resource report, which was fairly lengthy, but had a lot of detail, and was presented by Lynn Hart. And I guess, you know, the main takeaway from that is that the county employment is really no different than any other employment in terms of trying to attract and retain employees. It's just more difficult and more difficult. It does seem that being able to work from home or the remote work sites do have something to play into why some of our jobs are very hard to fill. Went on to number 3, and that was our Squaw Lake canister site. We currently have a small canister site, and it sits on city property, city of Squaw Lake. So the Environmental Service Department would like to move that onto county property and make it a little larger so we could accommodate and make the facility more serviceable to our community up there. And again, there was comment by the board and also from constituents, and takeaway was that we will continue to look. We agree that the site needs to be moved, and we'll continue to look at further sites that would be safe and still serve the public. Next was a public hearing, and it was for a conditional use permit to allow outdoor recreation vehicle storage off of County Road 63. That was presented to the board. It had already been in front of the Planning Commission and was approved. So we basically reaffirmed and approved the findings of fact from our Planning Commission that we would allow the conditional use permit for the new property on County Road 63. We had a discussion with our land commissioner, Corey Cease, surrounding our Bass Lake campground in northeast part of Itasca County, and that is one that we're making an expansion on. That would allow electrical sites. And so what our discussion was is, and what would the fee be? So it appears that there will be put on our work session our regular section for next week, and that the fee would be $30 for the non-electric and $40 for the electric fee. There are each in that park. I went on to a property sale, adjacent property sale to the fairgrounds. It was presented by Corey Cease and Brian Carlson from the Ag Association. The Vintage Car Club is interested in selling their property, which is just west of the county fairgrounds property, and made a request of the county to see if they might be interested in purchasing that property for further expansion of the fairgrounds use. The board stated many concerns that they might have, but end discussion was that they should, and that would be Corey Cease, would go back and engage in conversations and try to get more detail from the Vintage Car Club and come back to the board at a later date at a work session and present the findings. And next on our agenda then at number 7, we had a Itasca County Tourism and Economic Impact presentation by Megan Christensen from Visit Grand Rapids. Next, we received a plaque, a presentation plaque from Enbridge Pipeline in our participation in the accommodation of Line 3 this past 2 years. John Isley from Enbridge presented the plaque to the county. We had a discussion with Shane Zart, who is a representative of Flaherty and Hood, and they're a company that the county has contracted with to start further discussions in creating the last link of the Highway 169 crossway, or the 4-lane, and that would be from Taconite to the Pengilly area. Heard from our Ecumen manager, Grand Village manager, and it was about the 3-year contract agreement. So we heard what the difference were between our previous contract and what the one they're proposing us to accept. Commissioners would like to see a red line piece of that, and we'll receive that and then make a final decision, final vote on accepting or not on the contract. And without further discussion, we adjourned our meeting at 4:47. Have a great day and enjoy our summer weather that's finally arrived. Thank you.